he states, or she, I don't know. Ishmael is Hebrew, but he didn't get the promise. What damn promise? What promise? Isaac received the promise. You are right. Okay. I'm trying to figure this out. Daughter of Zion wrote 8 hours ago. Edited. Ham is the progenitor of the dark races, but not the Negro. We are not from Ham, but from Shem, Ham, Tyre, and Zidon. Ishmael was not the chosen son. He was given his lot and sent away. Wrong. The wild man, our enemies, or anyone that oppressed the Israelites. Okay, I'm going to put this in perspective for you, because like I said, I'm not fighting against y'all. We're just going to bring out the truth of it all. So we're going to present the scriptures laid out so everybody can see it. Laid out so everybody can see the truth, so we stop formulating opinions based off what we were taught. We got to get over all of that bull crap we were taught. Okay, let's get into it. And Israelites oppress the Israelites. For as long as the Israelites was obeying God, then God empowered them. When they worshiped the nation's God, then they fell off and were sent out to slavery to the devils. Right? So we got to take accountability as well for our actions as a people. You know, we got to stop blaming people. Now, the Arabs and everybody involved in the slave trade, you know, the Dutch and who else? The Africans, they are going to pay for what they did. And ain't no doubt about it. It's written. But we got to take accountability as a people that we put ourselves in that position. Right? It's just like you went somewhere and you got raped. You went somewhere and that's why that happened. You know, you got to take accountability, man. Not that it ain't no wrong in it, not that the rapist ain't going to pay. But you put yourself in a bad position, you know, and God is in control of everything, and he allowed that to happen to you. Genesis 26:1, God's promise to Isaac. What's the promise? Number 1, I will be with you and will bless you. Listen carefully, people. I will be with you. I am with you, Isaac, and will bless you. That's number 1. I will bless you and your offspring. And I will give all these lands to who? You and your offspring. Some funny stuff. And it just reminded me that I forgot to put something in there. I will establish the oath that I swore to Abraham and your fathers. I will establish the oath that I swore to Abraham, your father, in you and your offsprings. I will be with you and bless you. I will multiply your offsprings as the stars of heaven. Okay. And I will give to your offsprings all these lands. Okay. And in your offsprings all the nations of the earth shall be blessed. Because Abraham obeyed my voice. So pretty much nothing to do with Isaac. Because Abraham obeyed my voice and kept my charge, my commandments, my statutes, and my laws. That's why I'm going to bless you, Isaac. Okay, so we got the blessing of Isaac right here, right? Or the promise, right? The promise. How many promises did God got? You know what I mean? We got to get out of this isolation crap, man. Okay, let's keep going. Because here go the other promise. It says, Genesis 17:21. But I will establish my covenant with Isaac. Don't get word wizard. Establish definition. To set up, to start, begin, to get going, to put in place. So what? The covenant is going to get put in place, going to be set up and started with the house of Israel, right? Not with the house of Ishmael. But let's learn the truth of it all today so we stop being dumb. The promise to Abraham. And I want you to see, how much they are alike. Genesis 17:7. And I will establish my covenant between me and thee and thy seed. Between God, Abraham, and his children after thee, after he died, in their generations, for an everlasting covenant. His seed, all of his seed, have an everlasting covenant. Right, we know where you're going with this. And hold on, because we're finna go fast. To be a God unto thee. To who? You and your seed, always. And to thy seed after thee. After you die, Abraham. All your seed, I'm still going to be a God to them for an everlasting covenant to them. Isaac is the promise. And I will give unto thee and to thy seed after thee the land wherein thou art a stranger. All the land of Canaan. He gonna give the seed what? All the land of Canaan for an everlasting possession, and I will be their God. I'm gonna tell you already. Everybody in the land of Canaan is Muslim. Seed of Ishmael. You figure it out. Son of Abraham. Oh, we're getting mad at you, Raptor News. Oh, we hate that type of talk. Let's get back to Isaac. Now let's talk about it all. Genesis 17:10. This is my covenant, says God, which ye shall keep between me and you and your children after you, your seed. Every man child among you shall be circumcised. That's my covenant. You go do that, Abraham. And it said Abraham did what? Kept the covenant. And that's why Isaac was blessed, right? And you shall circumcise the flesh of your foreskin, and it shall be a token of the covenant between me and you and thy seed forever. Genesis 17:26. In the same day, was Abraham circumcised, and Ishmael, his seed, his son, his child. No. Let's go back up to the top again. Abraham's son, Ishmael, was given his lot and sent away. But God said forever. So that's a lie. God's promise to Ishmael. So we got Isaac, now we got Abraham, now we got Ishmael. Genesis 17:20. And as for Ishmael, I have heard thee. What does that mean? That means you prayed to me, and I'm responding and answering your prayer. Did God answer somebody who got their lot and was thrown off? No. We're going to get to that thrown off and where that came from. Behold, I have blessed him. Who he blessed? Ishmael. Who is Ishmael today? So-called Arabs, coming from a Hebrew. And I will make him fruitful. Come on, look at that place, man, Dubai. Look at that place. I mean, they just had some show there where I don't know if it was 2 to 500 Lamborghinis, exotic cars, Bugattis, and all that was there. Was there. America and all the European nations couldn't produce what Dubai is producing right now. They all going downhill. Dubai is going uphill. They move it to Dubai, right? I will make him fruitful because I have blessed him. Who is I?
I is God.
Israel. Who is I?
I is God.
I is God. You know who I is. I is God. And will multiply him exceedingly. In what land? The land of Canaan, where his ass is right now. 12 princes shall he beget, and I will make him a great nation. Who is I?
So
Come on, Israel. Come on, talk with me, Israel. Who is I? I is God. Let's get into this bullshit, man. The lie, the division. Written by what? A liar. Paul of Tarsus, right? Allegorical definition means figurative, non-literal, and metaphorical, right? The New Testament lies and begins the division. And then we're gonna read both. Galatians 4:22. For it is written that Abraham had 2 sons, the one by the bondmaid, the other by the free woman. Watch this. But he who was of the bondwoman was born after the flesh. He who was born of the bondwoman was born after the flesh. Wrong. A lie. This ain't what God said. Just like I keep saying, the New Testament lies. But he of the free woman was by promise. So, this is the truth, but this is a lie. Hagar was of the flesh, but Ishmael is in the promise because God said what? I blessed him. I hear his prayer. And I'm going to make him this great nation. I'm going to multiply his seed. I'm going to do everything that I promised to Abraham to Ishmael. Let's keep reading. Which things are an allegory? Who's asking the question, God or Paul? For these are 2 covenants. One from Mount Sinai, which gendereth to bondage, which is Hagar. For this Hagar is Mount Sinai in Arabia, and answereth to Jerusalem. But now is and is in bondage with her children. Watch this. When was Arabia in bondage? I don't remember any Arabia ever being in bondage. Man, I could be wrong. Somebody school me on that. I know Israel was in bondage with her children. You know. But not Arabia. But Jerusalem, which is above, is free. Truth. Because God said he's going to place you above all these nations. Which is the mother of us all. For it is written, rejoice, thou barren, thou bearest not. Break forth and cry, thou that travailest not. For the desolate has many more children than she which has a husband. Now we, brethren, as Isaac are the children of promise, but as then he that was born after the flesh persecuted him that was born after the spirit. Even so it is now. Nevertheless, what says the scripture? Cast out the bondwoman and her son, Anybody see forever there? I'm going to tell you the truth. God don't want or didn't want Abraham to be married to Hagar because she is a Gentile. So Hagar may have been pushed out of the picture completely, but not Ishmael, his son. And we're gonna see that. So then, brethren, we are not the children of the bondwomen, but of the free. Let me tell you something else. And when Abraham and Isaac married those Syrians, those Arabs, they intermixed again. Why? Why were they mixing with them and you ain't? They know something you don't know? Because I could have put that in there too. I don't want to make it too long. Didn't they marry Syrians? Oh, the Syrians was Hebrew now? Yes, they were. And so is the Syrians today. You know. Genesis 21:12. Hear me out, people, hear me out. I know. And God said unto Abraham, let it not be grievous in thy sight because of the lad. So we heard Paul's version, now let's hear God's version. And because of thy bondwoman, and all that Sarah hath said unto thee, hear unto her voice, hearken to her voice, for in Isaac shall thy seed be called. Right? And also the son of the bondwoman will I make a nation. What does also include? Because he is thy seed. Because he is thy seed. Because he is thy seed. I will establish my covenant between me and thy seed after their generations for an everlasting covenant. God said, what about Ishmael? Let's go back down to it. Because he is thy seed. Because he is thy seed. I know it bothers you. Because he is thy seed. Okay. Ishmael was not chosen. He was not the chosen son. He was given his lot and sent away. God said everlasting. How can he be sent away? He's still in the damn land today. He said he was sending you to your enemies. You know. He didn't say you was around your enemies, even though they were acting like enemies to us. And Abraham rose up early in the morning and took bread and a bottle of water and gave it unto Hagar, putting it on her shoulders and the child, and sent her away. And sent her away, even though she took the child for a minute, and sent her away, and she departed. Did it say them? No. Oh, watch this. And wandered in the wilderness of Beersheba. That's a familiar name, huh? I wonder all the stories that would happen at Beersheba and us. And the water was spent in the bottle. She drank it all, and she cast the child under one of the shrubs. And she went and sat down over against him a good way off, as it were a bow shot. For she said, let me not see the death of the child, because they were dying of thirst, right? Did God say, kill the bastard child? He is not, God said that. Let's see what God had to say. And she sat over against him and lifted up her voice and wept. So she was crying to God. But what did God say? And God heard the voice of Ishmael. And God heard the voice of Ishmael, because he is thy seed. Things you guys don't want to hear, because when you talk funny, your brain can't accept the truth. When you talk funny, your brain can't accept the truth. Here's your brother, you dumb assholes, in the Hebrew. That same sand nigger Arab. Why do you think they gave him that name? And the angel of God called to Hagar. It wasn't God called, but the angel's only going to report what God wants you to know. out of heaven and said to her, What aileth thee? Why are you crying, Hagar? Fear not, for God has heard the voice of Ishmael. Where is Ishmael? Where's Ishmael? No, he's thrown out. You don't talk to him, angel. Get away. He's out at Arab, see? But he's in Beersheba. Get the fuck out of here, man. Arise, lift up the lad, and hold him in thine hand, for I will make him a great nation. I, God. The angel ain't doing it, God is doing it. And God opened her eyes, and she saw a well of water. Today it's called Zamzam. Look that up. And she went and filled the bottle with water and gave Ishmael a drink. Because he was dying without that water, right? And God did what? Here goes some water for Ishmael. He blessed. And I'm going to hear him. I've heard him. And God was with Ishmael. And God was with Ishmael. I know y'all hate it. Oh, no, he's the forsaken. And God was with Ishmael. God don't change. He's still with Ishmael. And he grew. And he's like, after the news, you took the Arab side. I'm taking the side of the Torah. You just can't feed me no boot camp lie. You can't give me enemies. I'm weary of Gentiles giving me an enemy. There's your enemy. It's coming from the east when God said it was coming from the north. Giving me a motherfucking enemy. Give you an enema. Anyway. Genema. Look at the devil, man. Genesis 17:25. And Ishmael, his son, was 13 years old when he was circumcised in the flesh of his foreskin. How did he come back? Wait a minute. How did he come back? Wait a minute. He was thrown out. Let's go back to it. I'm not making a mockery of you, but come on. We got to speak the truth. Ishmael was not the chosen son. He was given his lot and sent away. He was sent away as a child, but he's 13 and Abraham is circumcising him. Hagar wasn't there. That was the point. Hagar was sent away because she was what? Gentile. She was an Egyptian. But Ishmael is what? A Hebrew. And he's there with his father being what? Circumcised as God commanded. And watch this. Was he still sent away? Genesis 25:9. And his son Isaac and Ishmael. Wait, not son. That's on that, y'all. And his sons Isaac being first, and Ishmael buried him in the cave. Buried who? They daddy Abraham. Sons sent away, excommunicated, not dealing with each other. No, y'all deceived, man. Stop it with that promise bullshit. When we all getting the same damn thing, we may be above them. Probably no doubt. God is coming to get us first. But after he come to get us, he said he's going to make a second round, right? And pick up the remnant of his people, never cut off, an everlasting covenant. Stop with all the lies, man. This is what I don't like. Lies. You can't feed me the lies, because if you go along with a lie, then you're going to go to the lake of fire. He that saith and believeth a lie is going to go to that fire. Isaiah 11:11. And it shall come to pass in that day that the Lord shall set his hand again. So he already got the remnant, which was Israel, right? Judah, right? He went back again. So he did get us first. You know, seeds of Isaac, he came and got us first. That's what you're talking about the promise? Or you just don't know what the fuck you're talking about? So he went back a second time and recovered the remnant of his people. Future It hasn't even happened yet. Which shall be left in what? Assyria, Egypt, Pathros, Cush, Elam, Shinar, and Hamath. All Muslim countries except for what? I believe it's Cush. Which is what? Ethiopia right now. Sudan, right? And it's Muslims there. These are Arabs. Except for Cush, right? I could be wrong, but I believe it's Cush. You know, do your research. And again, here they are. Iran, that's where you're going. What's in Iran? Towel heads, right? Right? Seed of what? Abraham, right? Hebrew. With the name Arab. Hebrew. With the name African American. Nevertheless, the seed of Abraham. Syria, Egypt, Iraq, Ethiopia, Pathros is Upper Egypt, and Hamath is West Central Syria. Right? Okay, let's keep reading, man. Genesis 17:7. I'm going to read it again from up the top. And I will establish my covenant between me and thy seed forever. Didn't God say Ishmael was his seed? Then the covenant is forever. After thee in their generations for an everlasting covenant to be a God unto thee and thy seed after thee. And I will give thee unto thee and to thy seed after thee the land where thou art strangers, all the land of Canaan. I wonder who in Canaan, huh? I thought too, I didn't want who in Canaan for an everlasting possession, and I will be their God. Who in Canaan? Canaan was the name of a large and prosperous ancient country, at times independent from others and tributary to Egypt. Now located in the Levant region of present-day Lebanon. Islamabad, huh? Muslims, right? Arabs up there, right? Syria. Arabs up in there. All of them Hebrews went out to Jordan. You know, GOC, Jordan, what they find. Arabs up in there, huh? In the land of Canaan, huh? And they living side by side with Arabs. I see the videos. I see them Arabs there teaching you how to set up them camps and live in the wilderness. Your brother. No, nothing. He's not our brother. Your brother got nuclear weapons. How stupid can y'all be? Put two and two together, dumbasses. What do you think that damn Gentile was fighting so hard to keep y'all separate? Because you might give him some bright ideas. In Israel, and it was also known as Phoenicia. This Phoenicia, my nigga. Kedar is Abraham's grandson and the second son of Ishmael. Why are we talking about Kedar? Let's find out. Genesis 25:13. And these are the names of the sons of Ishmael. I thought he was just thrown out of the way. Here, you take that and get the fuck out of here. Wrong. By their names, according to their generations. The firstborn of Israel